Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel, whether you're tuning in on some kind of podcast or if you're on YouTube. Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. It is so good to see everyone and to virtual see everyone. This is the Trauma Doula show, and today I wasn't really sure what I was going to be talking about. I really wasn't, and then it just came to me because I know something that I have been on lately is spiritual bypassing, and really honing in and talking about this because right now with everything that's happening in the world, I don't even want to bring it up because it's everywhere. You know, you can look all over the place and you're going to see, virus, it's just permeating our reality, and it's the only thing people can really focus on. And so I'm just going to take a moment to say, welcome, take a deep breath, and let it out. Let your shoulders fall. Let your hips relax. Maybe you do it one more time. Take a deep breath in through the chest, and let the shoulders fall. We've spent so much time and energy focused on things, and we haven't really looked deeply. And I feel this time is about looking deeply. It's what's the opposite of spiritual bypassing. It's looking deeply into a well and actually seeing what's there. Something that continues to stand out to me is that we have been living in this lie. And the lie has been that everything's great. People are doing well. The economy is well. Everything is awesome. And really, we've been borrowing credit and living paycheck to paycheck, at least for the masses, right? And so spiritually, as we go in, as we quarantine ourselves away from our loved ones, our friends and family and significant others, spiritually, these other things start to come up within ourselves that maybe have nothing to do with what's going on in the world right now. Maybe you're starting to feel these emotions you haven't felt in 20 years because you've been so busy working, and working some more, busy with busyness, that you never stopped and realized that that affected you in such a way. The question that I have come into is, have we been bypassing God? Have we been spiritually bypassing God? And when I say God, know that the Trauma Doula is ultimately a show about spirituality, but a broader spirituality. So whether I say God, source, universe, spirit, angels, guides, whatever you want to call the guiding force of your life, I'm going to say God. Because that's what I feel comfortable with. But have we been spiritually bypassing God in the spiritual community, in transformation communities, in healing communities? We want to give God this other name so people feel comfortable with it, but that's almost like minimizing the source of creation so people don't feel as afraid of the creator. Sometimes I get these I call them downloads, but just this overwhelming message that comes over my spirit. And one of the messages was something along the lines of like, those who wait on God, those who wait on the Lord. And I was like, that sounds biblical. Okay. So I'm looking this up, like, what is this trying to say to me? What message am I really getting about this waiting on the Lord? And what I saw was, those who wait on the Lord will rise up as eagles. They'll run and never tire, walk and never weary, something like that. You know, it's a whole quote. If I find it, I'll put it in a link below. And right now we're in this massive period of waiting, right? But what does it mean to wait on God? Not spiritual, not bypass God, not say, oh, things are fine and God will take care of me. What does that mean? Like, some people say those things, but you can tell when people say those things and don't really believe it. They don't know to the core of their being that God really has them. God's in your corner. God is going to move you forward. God is going to like take you to the next level with the faith, right? So people can say what they want, but if you don't got faith, you don't got nothing. Okay. So what does it mean to wait on God? I was thinking about this. We're on this quarantine. We're all waiting. But who's waiting on God? A lot of people waiting on the government to either give them a check or save their business. A lot of people waiting on their employers to call them back to work. A lot of people waiting on the government to issue a release so we can all get back to living our lives the way we always live them, right? A lot of people just want to go back. But see, if you're waiting on God, and here's the message here. When you wait on God, you wait in faith of knowing that God will move mountains, that you will come through this, that this really is for your highest good. Maybe you needed some time off work, away from toxic situations, so that you can feel some of the trauma that you've been through, so that you could wake up and cry instead of going to work. I know I have. It's been almost 1 year since my brother died. And the only thing I've wanted is just time away from my job so that I could grieve longer and more and deeper without being involved in other people's dramas and traumas, right? Because sometimes that's what work is other people's messes and dramas and and gossips and stuff. Maybe you needed to get fired. Don't nobody want to hear that, do they? Nobody wants to hear, maybe God did not want you at that job no more because you weren't listening to your calling. That's a hard one to swallow. And I know it and I understand it and it sucks. But if that is the will, if that's what you've been waiting for, then don't waste it. Maybe that's exactly what this time is for. Maybe you have been given a chance, an opportunity. You see, there's going to be a bunch of people out here that are wasting their opportunity. They're Netflixing and chilling. And you know what? That's fine. Some people, they're not going to move through this like that. They're not going to see it as a blessing in disguise. They're not going to see this change, this transformation, this time as a deep chance, to listen to spirit, to hear spirit. We got between 30 and 60 days, if not more, to tune in to the still, quiet voice of spirit and say, what would you have me do? Who do you want me to be? How can I do your will? What is your will for my life? Because I'm going to tell you what, God's will and your will bring joy not only to you, but to the people around you, the people you serve. And so, like, if the idea of me saying God all the time makes you uncomfortable, this probably isn't the channel for you, because we're going deep here. I'm not bypassing God, because God's the only one I got. Okay? We're not bypassing God. If you think when I say God, I mean Christianity or Buddhism or Muslim or Islam, you know, I don't. I mean God. I mean the greatest power that can talk to you individually. Each and every one of us has a connection with God. I truly, I don't just believe it, I know it. Every single one of us can have intimate relationships with God. So I'm talking about spirituality, because no one can tell you God's plan for your life but God. And God has been trying to get into your life and knock down your door and tell you exactly their will for you. So again, the Trauma Doula is spiritual, not religious. I just told you what that meant. And we're not bypassing God no more here, okay? And if you are not taking this opportunity, okay, this blessing, I'm not saying we can't be sad. I'm not saying we can't grieve the life that we have lived, okay? But I am saying maybe it's an opportunity if you're married. Hey, I'm single AF, y'all. But if you're married and you're at home with your significant other, and suddenly, maybe not so suddenly, it's horrible, and you realize you fucking hate that person, you need to listen to that. That's a blessing. That is an absolute blessing. So I'm just here as the messenger. Call it what you want. That you are being given a divine, perhaps once in a lifetime opportunity for the masses to step back and say, will I follow the higher calling, or will I fall back down into my ego, in my egoic state of mind that wants to keep me in this story, that wants to keep me in my past, that wants to keep me right where I am? Do I want to hop this timeline right now, okay, and move forward? Or do I want to stay right here? The decision is yours, but God is calling, y'all. This has been the Trauma Doula. Thank you for listening, liking, sharing my videos, my podcast. Please, please like, share, subscribe. And yours truly, always. Peace.